The almighty Prince Vegeta!
What's good, people? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video, and today I'm going to be going over the top 10 best Zenkai units in the game right now, in my opinion. Now obviously, it's only my opinion, it's subjective, so if you disagree that's fine, if you agree that's fine, but this is just my opinion. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So as you can see, in 10th spot, there's actually 5 characters in there. This is more of an honourable mention spot rather than just having one unit there. So I've gone with LF Goku, LF Piccolo, LF Goten, DKP and Chilled. Now outside of Chilled and Goku, all the rest of the units don't really have a top team right now. Like LF Piccolo is really solid, it's a shame that he's not higher. I really like DKP, obviously has his endurance nullification on all of his attacks, his Dragon Ball manipulation, all that stuff, I really like that. Goten is good when there's a top Gohan unit in the meta that he can support, so maybe when we get the new DBS movie Gohan, maybe Goten will rise up in the ranks that way. Chilled, I just feel like he's only good against one specific team. You obviously know, if you know who Chilled is, you know what that team is, and I just feel like LF First Form Frieza is a much better option anyway. And in regards of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he does have a good team, but he just isn't as good as he used to be. So yeah, that's the 10th spot. Anyway, moving on, in 9th we do have Full Power Frieza, the second best yellow option on LOE. LOE obviously being one of the top 5 best teams in the game. He has endurance, he's tanky, his blue cards do pretty good damage, but his actual blast damage, he is a blast based unit, isn't the best, but he does give you some good options if you don't have LF Full Power Frieza at high stars. So yeah, he is a pretty good unit. Moving up to 8th, we have Namek. Now Namek, I can't lie, I think I was a little bit biased in this one because he is one of my favourite LF units. I just love Namek Goku, not this specific version of him, just Goku on Namek in general. I loved him in the anime. I love any variation of him that comes out, I just love him. Like, so maybe I'm being a little bit biased here. But with 2 of the top 5 best units in the game right now being red, I do feel like we have to take his colour into consideration. And that blue card still pops off, man. What can I say? What can I say? And if you do have him as a last man standing, obviously he can still do some pretty good work. But at this point, he has seen better days. But maybe my bias is just, you know, putting him in a pretty good spot here. But moving on, going up to 7th, we do have Otherworld Yellow Movies Goku. And if you don't know who this guy is, he basically, once he dies, he just buffs the team to hell. He just buffs the team to hell. He's pretty tanky. He doesn't do the best damage, but he tanks really well, as I said as well, his death buffs. And the best part about him, in my opinion, is his synergy with some of the other units on movies. So for example, your best unit on that team is obviously Super Gogeta. You want to protect him at all costs. So if you run Super Gogeta with Otherworld Goku and Revival Gohan, you have 2 units that can eat a rush. You have Revival Gohan with obviously his revival ability, he can eat a rush no problem. And you also have Goku, who in his kit gets -5 sub counts whenever the opponent activates a blue or an ult, and also gets -10 to his sub counts whenever the opponent activates a Rising Rush. So you're pretty much covered in any situation unless you're locked in. So obviously make sure Super Gogeta stays alive. He'll get them huge death buffs from Goku. Goes type neutral when a unit on his team dies anyway. He'll obviously have the lock-in as well. So Otherworld Goku just works way too well with one of the top 3 best units in this game. So yeah, that is why he is in number 7. In number 6, we do indeed have Super Saiyan Bardock, one of the most controversial units in Legends history without a shadow of a doubt. Now before I get onto his crit buffs and discuss that, you have him as an individual unit. He gets card draw speed, he's pretty good as a last man standing, he does okay damage, he gets 100% Vanishing Gauge back when you activate his ultimate. And yeah, he's a pretty good unit. He doesn't have blast armor, he doesn't have the most utility in the world, but where he shines the most is obviously his crit buffs. When Super Gogeta first released, he turned him into an absolute animal. So imagine you have Super Gogeta, who is by far the best unit we've ever seen. He has the featured boosts, and then you also have access to Bardock crit buffs, which was just, it was hell, bro. It was hell. It just wasn't pleasant to deal with at all. And the fact that Bardock will always be an option to turn a Super Saiyan unit into an absolute monster, he has to be on this list. He has to be on this list. But individually, he's pretty good, but nowhere near like a 9 or 10 out of 10 unit. So yeah, he is in number 6. Now moving up to the top 5. So starting off with FSK, arguably the most dominant unit in Legends history, but once again, has seen better days. He's over 2 years old at this point. I think his Zenkai is over 2 years old at this point. He was the top unit in the game for over a year, but at this point, he is just a damage beat stick. He doesn't have really any utility at all. If he is last man standing, then of course we all know what this guy can do. He does support a tiny little bit with other hybrid units, but hybrids aren't really in the best place right now. Maybe they will be once the new Gohan releases, if he releases soon. But as of right now, he's just a damage dealer. You can use him on Son family or hybrids, but you know, I think there are much better options out there, much better red options especially. So he's in 5th. Going up to 4th, we have LF First Form Frieza. Now this guy is an absolute gem, underrated in my opinion. His support, alongside, I want to say Future-On, but Future-On's more disruption. I'd say this guy actually has the best support in Legends, like without a shadow of a doubt. His sub-count manipulation on his green card just works so well with the other LOE units. And then you obviously have his damage inflicted support, which I believe is, I think, 30%. And then he also buffs 50% to their key recovery as well, which is pretty underrated, especially considering the majority of LOE units do have card draw speed. He also is one of the only units in Legends to hold a blue card in his deck, which works so well with LOE as well, because all of them do insane blue card damage. It's like their whole niche. Their blue card damage is insane. So yeah, it works really well with them. He tanks really well. His blast damage is okay. His blue damage is also okay, but his ult hits pretty hard. So yeah, the centerpiece of LOE works really well in that team. Definitely a top 5 Zenkai for sure. Going up to 3rd, we have Super Vegeta. Now this was hard for me, because if you know he's in 3rd, then you are going to maybe be able to guess who's in 2nd. But you know what, let me just go up to 2nd as well. So yeah, I've gone with these two in 2nd and 3rd. And this was pretty hard for me. Now, in regards of an all-round balance unit, I think Super Vegito does more than Vegito Blue. But Vegito Blue has that one extra team that is at the top of the game right now, obviously being Future. Now, is he better than Sword of Hope Trunks? That's a little bit of an ongoing conversation right now. Would you run him as a first choice on Future? That's up for debate. But he does have that team. He does obviously have Super Vegito's best team as well, which is Fusion Warriors. But as individual units on the same team, on an even playing field, who would I say is better? Now, that is a hard one, because obviously Super Vegito does more, right? He supports, he does a lot of damage. His ult, it's very hard. He can tank better than Vegito Blue can, but Vegito Blue is a pretty good damage dealer, let me not even lie. Obviously can combo for days if you manage to like drop combo, avoid cover changes, that sort of thing. Has a great lock-in blue card, Vegito Blue as well, and his ultimate is arguably the most deadly ultimate in the game. It always has been, even before he got his Zenkai. So just narrowly, I'm going to have Vegito Blue in 2nd, just because he has access to Future. Obviously, you could run Super Vegito in the leader slot, but there are better options in the game to do that with. So I'm going to go with Vegito Blue number 2, Super Vegito number 3, and that just leaves one man, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta in number 1. I don't even think this is close. I think this guy is by far the best Zenkai in the game right now. Now, this guy's damage is insane. The 2x card draw speed when you activate his main. His lock-in sniping ult, which is just devastating. And the underrated ability with this guy, which I really, really love, is he can tank any ultimate or even a Rising Rush, even type neutral, type disadvantage, sorry, because if you tag into him, the first attack he takes with neutral damage. So there have been many times where I've subbed in against like Goku or Vegeta's blue card, Super Vegito's ult, and he's just tanked it no problem. This guy has really high defensive stats, but the main thing with him is obviously the 2x card draw speed when you pop that main, and then his snipe ult locks them in. He basically, when he first released, just took Super Gogeta just out the game. He completely took him out the game. I had no problem with Super Gogeta the moment this guy released, so still doing crazy work. He has some great teams as well, God Key, Future, all the best teams in the game. So yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is the best Zenkai in the game right now. So yeah, this is my top 10. I just went through it briefly, didn't talk too much. Might have missed a few things out, some of their abilities, but just off the top of my head, without any notes or anything like that, that is what they do, and in my order. So Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta 1, Vegito Blue 2, Super Vegito 3, First Form Frieza 4, FSK 5, Bardock 6, Otherworld Goku 7, Namek 8, a little bit biased, Full Power Frieza 9, and then I had the 5 honourable mentions in 10. So yeah, let me know down below if you agree with me, if there's anyone you'd swap or change in this list. But that is my list. As always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you in the next one.